Coming to you live from the White Picket Studios in Houston, Texas, this is the Realty Ruckus. If you are in any way, shape, or form involved in the real estate industry, this is the show for you. And now, your host, Alan Hernandez.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Realty Ruckus out of the White Picket Realty Studios. I am your host, Alan Hernandez. Sitting next to me, your producers, David Bonilla and Gibran Hernandez. We're here to help your real estate business grow. Thank you so much for joining us today. As always, we have a phenomenal show planned out for you guys and we can't wait to share it with you guys. But before we get started, we'd like to recap of everything that's been happening this week. It's been an eventful week, man.
It's been a good one.
And I feel like you guys are running out of steam. You know, you guys are like drinking coffee and like just trying to keep up, but I'm gonna need you guys to like stay in it because we still have a show to put on and an entire day tomorrow.
I like how the guy that's in vacation mode is the one calling us out.
Yeah, don't you go on vacation tomorrow?
Yeah, I do actually.
He's like, life is great. I love it. When I get to go on vacation mode, everything works out so amazing.
It does. I have had the 2 most productive weeks of my life, man. It's crazy. Like I'm leaving for 2 weeks, and the last 2 weeks have been amazing, like nonstop, all day, every day. I mean, I am taking on a little bit more than I normally do, just because I know I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks, and I know I need to leave things set up and everything going so that I don't have to be worried about it or on the phone while I'm out. Now, I did set up my phone just in case someone needs to reach me.
But don't tell people that, man. Yeah, you just made a huge
mistake. No, I'm not
going
to. Actually, the way that I have it set up now is my phone calls are forwarding to Brandon, my assistant, and then he makes sure that he filters through them and makes sure that whoever needs to speak to me, if it's an emergency, can, or if it's something that he can handle, he just handles it.
That takes a lot of trust.
Well, I thought when you're on vacation, Brandon's on vacation.
Well, that's what he thought, but we agreed that
Brandon
that
was
work.
Really excited when you said you were going on vacation. Brandon was like, "Yeah, it's going to be like my second summer spring break."
I asked him what he was going to do while I was on vacation. He goes, "Same thing I do every day: twiddle my thumbs."
Brandon unbuttoned his button. That means second button is vacation mode.
He's already on vacation mode too. Great. So last night we had the NAREP happy hour. And if you guys didn't get a chance to join us, man, we had such a good time.
Thanks
it was amazing.
Rubbing it in my face.
So, I mean,
wait, where were you? What was David doing?
I'm on baby watch.
Oh, he's on baby watch.
Yeah.
This is what he says all day now. Yeah. This is like his excuse for everything.
Oh, you know what, though? I get him because I was on baby watch. And the night that my baby was coming, I actually was like, all right, I got to make sure I get all my partying out, and my buddy, he's having twins. And so he came over, and we bought all this beer, and we're sitting down. And like I'm like, Alex looks like she might be having contractions. And my buddy's like, it's cool, man. We'll drink another beer. Next thing I know, I'm driving to the hospital. So yeah, he's being smart about it.
You gotta be ready.
Yeah, you gotta always be ready. I support what David's doing.
All right, well, we'll get you. And all pregos are excused, and you're a prego too if your wife is.
But
prego.
The event was amazing yesterday.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was awesome, man. We had such a good time. It's supposed to be from 6 to 8 p.m. right?
Yeah.
And it was like 10:30.
Yeah, this was the funniest.
It was like 10:30, and the bar staff was like, "Hey, we've been closed for like 30 minutes. Are you guys ever going to leave?"
Yeah, no. They came up and they were like, "Who's running the music?" And of course, it was Alan.
Yeah.
But Alan's like, "I don't know who's running the music." And they said, "I don't know. Can you find him? Because we want him to shut it off. Like, we want to go home."
Like, why? We were having a good time. I love the people that showed up last night. We had some amazing people there, and really interesting new companies that are going to be coming into the market here in Houston, coming from Dallas actually. Really? And I can't wait to work with them because
what kind of companies?
So, for example, one of the companies we met is a law firm who works on helping people who are in foreclosure crisis.
Okay, very cool.
And so one of the things that they do is they advocate for the homeowner.
Yeah.
Right? They help them sue the lender in case there's any kind of way to maybe make some money or walk away with some money. Not make some money, but walk away with something. They try to fight for that.
Yeah.
And if not, they get an agent to do a short sale and help sell the property. And what they're looking for are agents who can help them with that. Agents who can, one, help them with short sales, or two, if that client just needs to maybe sell really, really quickly to a group of investors or something like that, which I mean, it's right up our alley. It's something we can help with.
yeah.
They were happy to meet us, and we were happy to meet them. So it was awesome, man. That's just one person that I remember meeting with.
Oh man, there was so many good people there.
Yeah, it was awesome, and so anyways, don't miss out on these events, you guys. One of the things I got a chance to speak about this morning at the Houston Housing Roundtable, which again, another really, really cool, really amazing event. We learned about everything there is to learn on how you can help that first-time home buyer, what's available for them in terms of programs, grants. Olga was there, of course, and she talked about her certificate that she gives.
Oh, the one that we talked about on the show.
Yeah,
that was great.
And man, I mean, it was so cool, and I got a chance to go towards the end and just talk a little bit about NAREP and why you should be part of it. And
good. Hopefully, you got some new members out of that.
I think we probably did, man. If you guys didn't get a chance to catch that, watch the presentation on my Facebook page. You get a chance to see what I did this morning at that event. But really, that was just like a small portion of it. The event itself, amazing. Anyway, all right, we have to take a quick commercial break. When we get back, we're gonna talk about the shadiest brokerage in the world.
Uh-oh.
The shadiest, the
brokerage.
absolute shadiest, and how they poach agents. And we'll give you guys all the details when we get back. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express, who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston and surrounding areas, and they offer great service and exceptional value, with dedicated professionals ready to serve. Contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepickettrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepickettrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where if you catch us during the show, we can answer your questions live on the air. Now, we got David in studio, right? At least we got 50% David in studio. So how's the weather going to be this weekend, David?
Well, heading into the 4th of July holiday weekend, it is going to be sunny and warm this weekend, with highs in the mid-90s and lows in the mid-70s. We shouldn't have any more rain, maybe some isolated thunderstorms today, but a clear and sunny weekend for the holiday weekend.
That's nice. Okay, good.
Very nice.
And we didn't even need Ashley to bring that good weather.
I know. Actually, if you remember, I asked him if it was going to rain for the happy hour yesterday. He said it was going to rain, and I just want the public to know that it did not rain. So just making that a point on today's weather.
Well, it depends. It depends when you.
It's almost like you can't ever accurately report the weather.
I'm
still wondering how weathermen get paid.
I wish every other job was like that, where you can be wrong like 80% of the time and still get paid. Like, imagine how awesome that would be if you could do that in every other job.
All you got to go up there and say is, "It might rain," and you're going to be right.
Yeah. Imagine if your banker was like that. I think I know your account balance, but I'm wrong 80% of the time. But
we might
still
lose your money.
Paid. Yeah,
that's all right. All right, so let's talk about the absolute shadiest brokerage in the world. and why they just got sued for $5 million.
Well, they didn't only get sued, so they actually have a judgment against them for almost $5 million. And so what happened, it's really interesting because this is pretty big when it comes to recruiting.
Well, maybe I should tell the story first.
Yeah, because it really has to deal with how you recruit.
Yeah.
And it really starts to label, when you are an employee of a company, what are your duties to that company? And when are you violating those duties to the company?
So one of the things when I remember when we said, all right, well, we would like to start recruiting agents. And one of the things that happened as we were deciding to go in that direction of growing the brokerage was that we started noticing the recruitment process from other companies, and as they were trying to essentially poach the few agents that we did have, right? And what happened is they sent over, like there was a local company here that sent a handwritten note privately to one of our agents, and it said, hey, I'd love to talk to you about joining our team. It was a deal that they had just closed, and because of that, they sent them that note, and it said something like, hey, I'd like to have a private conversation with you about joining our team. And so the agent brings that note to me and says, hey, what do you think about this? And I was like, man, I mean, I think it's pretty shady. I don't like it, you know? And I mean, that was me being naive, I think, because we didn't know that was part of the process at that point. And so I remember going online and posting about it, and a lot of brokers being like, hey, that's just the way we recruit. That's just the way we get more agents. That's the way that the industry works. Of course, the way I see things, I feel like there should be more ethical practices, and there should be better ways for you guys to go out, for brokers to go out and recruit than by having those sideline conversations. But fine, if that's the way it works, that's the way it works. We just play by the rules. And now we're seeing that there's also a way to get sued when you take agents, and so maybe this, something like this really does set a precedence on what poaching really means and what part of poaching is actually considered illegal.
And it's not the poaching that was illegal. Like we got to be really clear with that there's nothing wrong with you going and telling people, I want you to come work for me instead of where you're at. What was wrong here was the person who owned the brokerage. So I'm going to put this as if it was us, right? So White Picket Realty is here, and we have a friend that's over at Keller Williams, and she's the office manager, recruitment manager. She's an employee. She's not a 1099 contractor. She's an employee, so she has employee capacity there. And what they determined was that in that employee capacity, she failed in her fiduciary duty because the other person from the brokerage reached out to her and was like, hey, why don't you get me the top agents from your brokerage, and then all of you guys, all 10 of you and you jump ship together and come work for me.
And I'm going to tell you something. I hear about things like this happening all the time.
Really?
This is not new to the industry. I mean, so the cool thing about being able to be in large trade organizations is that you get a chance to network and hear about some of the other stories that happen to brokers throughout the country, really. This is not a new thing.
Wow.
This is something that happens consistently. You're running a business. You are doing great. You've gone out, maybe you've built a couple of top producers as a brokerage. You've brought them in, you've shown them how to do it. They're doing great. And then some schmuck broker from down the street, right? And he's like, hey, I want you to come over here and exceed with me, and I'm gonna maybe give you everything in the world, and all you got to do is poach everyone in that office. And it happens all the time. It happens left and right.
And the issue here isn't that you poach somebody who's a 1099. It's that you recruited that person who is an employee. So it's recruiting the office manager. It's recruiting the secretary. It's recruiting the recruitment manager. It'd be like if somebody brought David in. And here's the thing: in this case, the lady was literally plotting. And part of one of the emails that they have, she talks about how she wants to bring that brokerage down because she hated that broker. And so they said, well, there's not a lot of bad that she did, but because she was an employee, she had a fiduciary duty to her company to be in the best interest of her company.
And that's the biggest caveat, is whether determining whether it's legal or not, where your fiduciary duty lies.
Exactly.
And they found, she violated her fiduciary duty, which meant that now she's responsible. And this is what's crazy.
Well, what she was doing is she was being paid. Crap, we're out of time already. We have to take a quick commercial break.
Oh man,
I want to keep this going.
Yeah. When we get back, we'll finish telling you guys the story of the real estate brokerage that got the heck suit out of them.
Yes.
And we'll talk about the penalties that are being assessed, so that if you're out there and you're thinking about doing it, just know this could be coming at you. We got to take a quick commercial break. You're on the Realty Ruckus.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepickettrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepickettrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can find us on Facebook and YouTube, where if you catch us live, we can answer your questions right on the air. Now, right now, we're having a really good discussion about this real estate brokerage that just got hit with a $5 million fine for poaching agents. But it's not that the poaching the agents was the problem. It's the way that they went about it.
Yeah.
And they went in and actually recruited. It's essentially they recruited a mole. Yeah. They recruited somebody that was already on the inside of that organization.
Yeah.
They got them
a W-2 employee.
A W-2 employee who was on the inside, who had a capacity to be in the best interest of their company.
Well, wasn't she the recruitment manager?
She was the office manager, which one of her job duties was recruitment.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, but she went in there and she talked to those agents, and she picked out 10 of the best agents, including the 4 top producers in that office, waited, told them, and this is also another big piece of it.
Yeah,
and this is something you want to be really careful, because if you're out there recruiting, don't do this, because she told them, don't take on any new listings on paper or any new buyers on paper. So no listing agreements, no buyer representations until we jump ship, so that none of these have to stay with this current broker.
Yeah.
And those little words that she used, actually, they cost her about $250,000 in fines on one side, and then another $250,000 for punitive damages. So it was $500,000 just in saying those little things in fines. Yeah.
Dang.
Now, she is personally liable for $2.5 million.
So for half of the
damages, she's personally liable. The other brokerage, the one that she was working with, that I guess they had to have convinced her. No one reaches out to another brokerage and says, "Hey, I hate my broker. Help me take him down." This is like one of those things that happens over a dinner, and you start to really create that hatred in them that they want to take their broker down. It sounds like
do people really hate their brokers out there?
They must, man. They must. Right. But what's crazy to me is
watch out,
this is
I know, right?
I know, this is the kind of narrative that you hear about in like movies only. You don't think that this happens in real life.
So all right, so some brokerage goes out and poach it or like creates a mole inside of another brokerage.
Yeah, and it's got to be a W-2 employee.
Right, and then the mole brings like the top producers from that brokerage.
Yeah, that mole poisons the well.
Yeah.
And then gets other people to be like, yeah, I actually don't like it here that much either.
Yeah. Scare this guy, let's go.
And then they all go together to the other brokerage, including the mole.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem is. The problem is the mole. It's not, if all the other agents wanted to leave,
it's all about the mole.
then it just sucks. But it's not, they didn't do anything illegal. Now, the one part that still would have been illegal is if that broker had told the other agents not to take on any new listing agreements.
Just don't take any listing. Don't sign any agreements until you get over here.
Exactly.
And she did that in writing?
And they have it in an email, man. That's the problem. People don't realize when you get into a lawsuit, the first thing they're going to subpoena is all your phone records and all of your emails. And your phone records you might be able to destroy a la Aaron Hernandez, right? Like just smash the hell, or a la Hillary Clinton, just smash the hell out of your phones.
He's talking about my phone and how it looks currently. It fell, okay?
What I think really sucks is that the 4 top producers that she took represented half of the office's production.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So
they
she
literally
really was
took
taking
away.
them down.
Yeah, she took them down by taking those 10 agents. She literally crippled that other brokerage. But I think they're going to be okay now that they're going to be collecting $5 million in damages. Now here's the one thing. Here's the one problem with that I have. If that lady is worth nothing, that brokerage gets nothing.
Yeah.
And they're not getting their top producers back. Nothing in the judgment says, hey, you have to go back to the other brokerage. So they can stay there. And that other brokerage, if they have nothing, they just bankrupt the brokerage and start another one. And they don't have that judgment anymore.
Well, either that or I don't know. They're liable for $2.5 million, right?
For $2.5 million.
We had Ashley here.
Yeah, I wish Ashley was here.
This is a great
to break this down.
Ashley thing to ask.
Yeah, we will add that to our follow-up.
But here's the thing: like, let's look at it like on the business owner perspective. Maybe what they did is just buy 10 really expensive top 10 producers or whatever.
That's true. That's true.
For $2.5 million, if you're gonna make that in
4 or 5 years,
or
then
less.
it's still an investment. Yeah, you're right. I hadn't thought about it that way.
And if you look at it, maybe they're making payments on that, so they're not even essentially making one big chunk. And you're right. The worst thing about suing someone is if you sue someone that has absolutely nothing, you get nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I do think that this happens more often than not, and it doesn't just happen in our industry. It happens in every industry out there.
Oh yeah.
And that's why non-competes and all these other contracts exist, because people try to protect themselves. At the end of the day, in my opinion, the only people that win on this are the attorneys.
I hadn't read this, so I'm just reading the response to the complaint that she submitted. So she responded that the whole reason that she did this was because she'd been passed up on several promotion opportunities and had not received a raise from her base salary in all 4 of her years. And the other company gave her $50,000 in recruitment bonuses for bringing those 10 agents over. Yeah, and that was her response to it. As if a court's gonna think that makes it okay, you know.
I like that. But what was that? Say that again. Recruitment.
But you were wondering, what made her hate? Yeah, I'm like,
did you hear that over there? Erase that.
Erase that. I'm taking
rewind.
And you can use that $50,000 to go pay your $2.5 million fine.
Yeah, what's she gonna do now? She probably spent it all on lawyer fees.
Wow, man, this is incredible. And what this case shows you is that you really do have to be careful when you're out there poaching people.
Yeah.
And you got to walk a fine line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think there's a big difference in poaching and recruitment. So like I love the fact that when we're looking to bring in more people, we're looking for people that come to us based on the value we're already providing. All the classes that we teach, all the events that we host,
the culture and energy,
all the culture that we bring to the table, and everybody sees that.
When recruits sit with me at the table, that's really what's besides commission splits and broker accessibility. The next biggest thing agents want is a environment and culture which they feel they can succeed in.
Yeah, exactly.
And so if you're exuding that, you'll attract that talent naturally to you.
But that's what I'm saying. There's a difference because
you're right.
Because we're out there actively doing these things, and yeah, if we see someone that we really want to talk to, we may send them a note now and say, hey, I know that you're there. Let me know if you've ever wanted to talk. I mean, and now we know that that's how everyone operates. It works.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with offering someone a better opportunity or a different opportunity. No. Yeah. I don't have any problem with that. Now, creating a mole within an organization, I mean, that would be like going over to Keller Williams Metropolitan, going to their office manager or their recruitment manager and be like, hey, come over here.
I got a really good deal for you.
I want to take you to dinner. Yeah. Hey, have you been passed up on a couple of promotions? And how pissed are you at your broker over there?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same situation, and that is really slimy.
Yeah.
When you say it that way, it's like, man, that sounds horrible.
Well, and I'll tell you, there's in real estate, especially when it comes to recruitment, there's a lot of slimy practices. So again, you just have to know that whatever you're bringing to the table has to be better than the rest.
I'd like to hear from our audience. If you're out there and you've seen or you've heard of some slimy recruitment story, post it in the comments.
Let us know. Yeah. And by the way, this happens to
let us know
the
what
investor side of it.
Yeah. Let us know what worked and what didn't work in those situations.
Just don't go out there and get sued. That's all I know. That's never fun. If it's never happened to you, it's not something you want to go through. That's for certain. So, all right. Speaking of agents and recruitment and all of the things that they go through, let's talk a little bit about some of the challenges that agents are facing. So we got a list. The list is called the top 5 agent challenges, and we want to bring some of these to you guys because I understand that everyone that gets into real estate goes through these same challenges. So we want to talk a little bit about them. We want to bring those to the forefront and maybe have a quick little discussion on them. And of course, don't forget, if you guys are watching out there, we are live right now, so you can drop off your questions, comments, concerns, trolling.
Hey, we love trolls.
Slimy recruitment tactics, whatever the heck
I would love to hear some of those. If you have a slimy recruitment tactic, I would love to hear it because my mind is blown with cases like this.
All right, so as far as the top 5 agent challenges, so this comes from Tom Ferry surveying 3,300 agents about their major career challenges.
Yeah.
Right, and the top 5 challenges that emerge most often are the following. So we'll start with number 1.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about it. So number 1, prospecting consistently.
Yeah.
And man, do you see that like even with our agents?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think that is the number 1 problem, and this applies to any industry. We're not even real estate. I mean, this applies if you're a real estate investor. This applies if you have a donut shop.
Yeah.
Is that you settle with the people that you have. You're like, all right, business is doing okay. Business is pretty good.
Business is good. I don't have to market as much anymore.
And then and especially in real estate, because fine, your donut business, you may get regulars, right? Let's drop that out of the equation. But in real estate and real estate investing, you close that deal, that's it.
Yeah.
They're not coming back at least for a year, 2 years, maybe even longer down the road for anything else. So that's it with them. Mm-hmm. And the thing that people forget is, I got to go out and find new customers constantly. Mm-hmm. And this is a new customer business. Yep. So I see that issue. Anytime I sit down with an agent and they tell me my business is struggling, I always say, well, show me what you've done in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing I see is that there's no consistency in doing those marketing activities, those prospecting activities, time after time after time.
I think it's kind of funny because prospecting consistently usually falls apart because you get so busy wearing all of the other hats involved in being a real estate agent or a real estate investor or anything that has to do with real estate. You get tied up because now you have a contract here, now you have this deal closing, and you're handling all of these pieces of the puzzle, and you're like, and by the time you get to closing, you're right, you collect that paycheck and you're like, oh crap, I got to start over again. Let's get back to prospecting.
Yeah, and in real estate, I mean, investment transactions move a little bit faster. You may be done in 1 month, right? 30 days normally. But if you're doing a retail real estate transaction, that's actually pretty tough to say.
Yeah.
A retail real estate transaction, you could be looking at 60 or 90 days or longer to get that thing closed. So if you're waiting to pick up a new prospect until you close out your other one, you're going to have a 2 or 3 month gap in income.
Well, and that's what happens, and that's why out of 37,000 agents, 37,000 agents in Houston, only approximately 2,000 of them will close more than 10 transactions a year.
Okay, out of 37,000,
yes,
2,000
so less
will
than
actually
10%.
close.
So less than 10% of all real estate agents will close more than 10 transactions a year, which means that 35,000 agents here in Houston are either part-time or really hungry.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
right?
I would say they're probably
or both.
Or both.
Or both. Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. And I think it really has a lot to do with this part. It's not understanding that the most important part is prospecting. And then maybe finding ways to automate that. And that's maybe
I think that's one of the solutions
yeah.
is if you're having problems prospecting, I can almost guarantee you that you have no CRM.
Yeah. Well, I also think if you looking at the other 5 challenges, once we go through those, I think a lot of those have to tie into the prospecting consistency.
And why this is number 1?
Exactly.
I got it.
Let's jump into number 2 then. Yeah, let's keep going. So number 2 here, and I hear this all the time too.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I hear people who say that they're so busy, yet when it comes time for all the fun stuff that they want to do, they're never busy for that.
There's always time for networking.
Yeah, there's always time for happy hours.
Always time for happy hours.
Yeah.
An extra drink.
Yeah. Just one more. It's not a big deal. Oh, yeah, I have time for that.
Yeah.
But when it comes time to do your other stuff, they're like, oh, I don't know. And it's just bad time management. The managing of their time. That's the second challenge that real estate agents have. Yeah. And really, I would say anybody who's self-employed, self-managing is a really, really big deal.
We shouldn't even call this top 5 agent challenges. This should just be top 5
self-employed
challenges. Anyone that's in the self-employment world, you go through this no matter what. We have to take a quick commercial break. You guys are on the Realty Ruckus. We'll continue our discussion when we get back. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepicketrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepicketrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where if you chat with us during the show, we can answer your questions live on the air. Now, we're talking about the top 5 challenges that real estate agents face in their business, but really we're talking about just self-employed people in general. If you're self-employed, chances are that you face these challenges, and we want to hear about that in the comments section. Let us know your challenges. We're going to pick one of those people randomly and give them some kind of prize. I don't know what it's going to be yet.
We have a Starbucks gift card, I think.
We have some Starbucks gift cards. Yes. I think we have a mystery box with stuff in it.
We have a Starbucks gift card and a mystery box.
And a mystery box.
And we don't know what's in the mystery box.
Okay, yeah.
We're not sure.
There could be anything in the mystery box.
It could be anything in the mystery box.
It could even be a boat.
It could be. It could be. You never know. All right, so that goes to the person that drops the best comment down below.
Who lets us know the best challenges that they're facing in their real estate business.
And that gets the most likes on your on your post. So make sure you guys are dropping them below. Let's continue on our list.
Yeah, so we were on number 2, which was time management. I was saying that yes, every agent who comes in and their business is struggling, they're always having problems managing their time. And I said, this really goes with any entrepreneur, because you're moving from a paradigm where you work from 8 to 5 and those are your work hours to a world where you have to work whenever you have to work.
Yeah.
And you have to learn to split your time up and actually get work done.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy. I know it, because when I went from having job to being here and having this business, some days it was like, well, what do I do today?
Yeah.
What is there for me to do? And it's hard to find those tasks, or we say it's hard, but we're just not really planning our day out properly.
A lot of times I don't think it's about managing time. I think it's about managing priorities. Because people that say I don't have time, you know, they're sure quick to be talking at that water cooler about the last episode of Game of Thrones. Or,
Speaking of, I think we're getting a new set of Game of Thrones here shortly. Isn't that happening here?
Talk about managing the time on the show.
Oh, yeah, that's right. My bad. All right. Let's get back to it.
But yeah, and it's true. I mean, if that is really what is the priority to you, and you may say, I have these goals, I want to be successful, but if you aren't showing that in your actions, it's not true.
Yeah,
it's not true.
Absolutely. You know, here's the thing. We think that you're going from 9 to 5 or working for corporate America to being self-employed, that you're gonna do it for the freedom, right? And there is a certain freedom in owning your own business or being in real estate. There is a certain freedom that comes with it. The problem that happens is that because you don't manage your time right, you end up losing that freedom. You end up going from...
You end up becoming a slave to your business.
You end up going from 9 to 5 to being a slave to your business.
You created yourself a job.
And then I'll tell you, like, the way that it's happened with me, like I woke up one day and I was like, crap, I'm a slave to my own business.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, I'm gonna need my freedom back, you know what I mean? And then like I had to implement different ways to gain that back slowly. Yep. You know, it's been wild, and you know, still I still work in the business a lot, but I love the fact, like the one thing that has allowed me to breathe is getting an assistant. And getting and then having a VA and take all like those little tasks.
Yeah, it's building a team around
all of those little tasks out of the stuff that I have to do, so I can focus on the stuff that's really important. And managing time is one of those. And I don't know if you remember this, but we had a segment a few maybe like 20, 25 shows back, and we talked about doing time slots. I forget the name of what
you're talking about the
Pomodoro technique?
The Pomodoros.
Pomodoro.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Pomodoro is awesome.
Pomodoro. Yeah. I don't know how I forgot that name.
Yeah.
Right?
It's such a weird name. That's
I know.
why.
Pomodoros. We started doing those. So if I know I need to achieve something, and by the way, all you got to do is go to Google and be like 25-minute. You could just type in 25-minute timer, and boom, it shows up. It shows a 25-minute timer, and you can just make it full screen. Dude, knock things out, and man, it's amazing what you can achieve that way. All right, we got to move forward. Number 3, maintaining a database, and this is where people really make some.
And to me, this goes right in hand with prospecting consistently.
Yep.
Because if you don't have a database, who are you prospecting to?
That's true.
You're only prospecting to brand new people, and there's one thing that I can tell you. Getting brand new business is a hell of a lot harder than getting referral and repeat business. Referral and repeat business is easy. That's a slice of cake.
Well, think about it this way. What happens when like your best friend from college calls you and he's like, hey man, I got this other buddy and he wants to buy a house. And like, do you know that as soon as you get that phone call, you know that person that you're going to be dealing with is going to be awesome to deal with.
Yeah.
They love you already because you're a friend of a friend.
It's funny because right now I'm reading this book called The Like Switch, which, by the way, everyone out there, go buy that book right now. It will change the way that you talk to people.
It is pretty darn awesome.
It's amazing. But one of the things that they talk about is the importance of this thing called the primacy effect. And the primacy effect is when somebody who's already related to that person says something about you, and now that person actually believes it. So for example, if they tell their friend, oh man, this agent is amazing, he's really funny, he's really personable, you could walk in there, look them in the eyes and be like, you're an asshole. And they're still going to go like, oh man, that was mean. But I'm going to wait because my friend said that he's really nice and personable. Yeah. So maybe I just got the bad end of the stick this time. Yeah. As opposed to they're like, well, you know, he's kind of an asshole. And then you walk in and you do that, they're going to be like, oh yeah, that just goes right along with what they told me.
That's exactly what my friend said.
Yeah, my friend said that he's that way.
It goes the other way. And so one of the examples that they give is, all right, if your friend tells the other friend, actually, this guy is super, rude and greedy or this and that and the other. Even if you show up and you are the nicest person on earth, you are not rude at all, you are not greedy at all, and you somehow show that, you will never have that person's trust.
Nope.
Because the other friend has already let them know and planted the seed that you shouldn't be trusted. So anyway, the importance of that is that you want your friends who already trust you, who already like you, you want your past clients who already trust you and like you to bring you more business. But this is where a big failure happens in the real estate industry, because we forget, once we've closed that transaction and we collected a check, we forget that person is still valuable to us, and it's seeing them at the yearly event isn't enough. It should be more often that we are talking to them and asking them for the business.
Absolutely.
So, all right, so let's move on to number 3. Number four, maintaining the mindset and personal psychology. This is right up your alley.
This is probably the hardest one, I would say, of the 5.
Absolutely, because everyone always says, oh, I'm just not motivated enough. And I will tell people this, there's no way to make yourself more motivated. That just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You have to find a bigger reason for why you're doing things.
Yeah.
And people think, oh, I'm doing it for money. I want to make a lot of money. I guarantee you,
if
I said right now, hey, the building downtown is giving away $5 million, but you got to get up to the 100th story by going and climbing it, and you got to be up there in 20 minutes or less, almost nobody would show up.
Yeah.
It's not money. Money is not
a long climb.
Yeah, money's not or they'd be like, oh, I don't even know if I could make it, or there's going to be so many people, I'll never get to the top. People will make excuses. Money is not a big enough motivating factor.
It's really not.
So you have to find a bigger reason. You got to have a different mindset. You got to change the context in which you're doing your job. Mm-hmm. And that's the most important part of it. And that it's a hard thing to do, like David said.
Really
you
is.
really have to reach deep. And what Gary Keller says is, you got to find your big why. Mm-hmm. Why am I actually doing this? Why am I putting so many hours into this? Why do I care this much to give it my all? Mm-hmm. And when you can create that big why and give yourself a better context, a more empowering context than just money, you'll be more successful.
Yeah.
Automatically.
Absolutely. It's kind of funny. I was having a conversation a few weeks back with an agent, and in the conversation, this was an agent that was potentially looking to work with us. In the conversation, I asked them why they hadn't closed the amount of deals that they wanted to close thus so far. And they said, oh, it's because my broker doesn't motivate me enough. and I didn't know what to do at that point. Like I wanted to reach across the table and just slap him, but it was what I was trying to handle my emotions, David, and so instead I just kind of sat back and thought about the fact that if you have to wait for someone else to motivate you, you are never gonna get there.
Oh, absolutely not, man. People are in their own world. People are in their own heads, and they couldn't care less about what's going on out there.
Yeah.
And so no one's out there like, man, John seems really unmotivated right now. Yeah. I better get over there and go motivate him.
I wonder how I can motivate him so he can find his own success.
Exactly. What are you going to do to motivate him? You're just going to go run around his desk and be like, woo, John, let's get motivated. Come on, let's go some deals. That doesn't work. John has to find his big why. He has to find the reason why it is that he's doing this. And I'm telling you, money is not a big enough motivating factor.
Exactly. All right. And last but not least,
and this one's the hardest to me.
Last but not least, and we'll give everybody
this ain't shit to me.
Everyone has a different opinion about this.
And I think here's the thing: everyone has abilities, better abilities than the next person on different parts of this list. So but the last one is probably the one that I'm really, really at fault for. It's staying organized.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because this morning, I already said that twice, didn't I? You just looked at me. It's kind of funny. This morning we were leaving the Houston Housing Roundtable, and Olga Garza comes up and says, "Hey, I really want to talk to you. I want to make sure that we get a chance to have some lunch, this and the other." But I haven't been able to get a hold of you recently. And I was just like, look, it's just been that I've been really preoccupied with a bunch of other stuff, and not because I don't want to hang out. I love hanging out. And she's like, well, I'm just going to reach out to Brandon because he manages your schedule anyway. And I immediately light bulb clicked, and I was like, yeah, that just makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because if you reach out to me, I don't have the ability to stay organized enough to manage my own schedule. So with Brandon, it's a total different picture. I'm able to do everything. Sometimes I feel like he's the boss. Like I'll come in and he's like, today you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, and in 5 minutes you better be ready because you got to make a phone call. And I'm like, all right, done. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh,
boom.
I love it though. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I've seen him do it for you. We'll be in the middle of a meeting and there'll be a knock at the door and he's like, Alan, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You got to get on the phone in 3 minutes. And I'm like, man, that's cool.
Yeah.
And you're just like, all right, guys, apparently I got to be on the phone, so I'll see y'all later.
Yeah, but it works. It's a way for me to, because I know that I'm not naturally organized, it's a way for me to stay organized that way.
Yeah.
Right? And the other thing is it saves a ton of time because it's not me setting up all of that. It's not me setting up all the lunches and all the meetings and all the client visits and this and that and the other, because that alone takes a bunch of time.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
Oh, yeah.
You know who Brandon reminds me of when he slides in the door like that? You remember Mr. Deeds that I am very, very sneaky. He's kind of like pops in the door and then just like
I
pops
am
out.
very, very sneaky.
Brandon did like that. You never watched Mr. Deeds? No, that's a great
that
movie.
was
Check it out.
when Brandon was still in diapers.
So
guys.
those are the top 5 challenges that real estate agents are facing. Like we said, that's really the top 5 challenges that any entrepreneur, any self-employed person is going to face in their business. But what I do want to get into is the other topic that we want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 new brokerages now.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like every week there's like 1 or 2 at least of these now.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 more brokerages now who are changing the game again. Yeah. They're going to change the way real estate is done.
Uh-huh.
And I just want to get into them and talk about it and go through. Maybe they are changing the game. I don't think they are, but let's talk about it.
Well, I tell you what. So everyone is worried about these game changer brokerages coming in and disrupting everything, disrupting the way that real estate is practiced, disrupting the way that the agents and clients work together. So this is a subject that everyone right now in the technology industry and in the real estate industry is focused on.
Yeah.
Because if some of these brokerages come in and really make the impact that they're looking to make,
all it takes is one to be
successful. It changes
successful.
the industry completely. All right,
and we're going to look at 3 of them when we come back from the break in our last segment. So make sure you stay tuned. We'll see you guys after the break. You're on the Realty Ruckus.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service and an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you're interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepicketrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepicketrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can find us on Facebook and YouTube, where if you chat with us during the show, we will answer your questions live on the air. Now, we were having a really good discussion about the top 5 challenges that real estate agents face. And we broke it down and we said, really, this is the top 5 challenges anyone who's self-employed faces, any entrepreneur faces, and you just have to find ways to get past them. Now we're having a discussion about the weekly brokerages that are coming out. I feel like it's every week there's a new brokerage. It's like, I'm changing the game. Real estate will never be the same again. And one of these may actually hit one day and actually change the game.
I just heard of one that now charges $7 a day to list a property.
Yes, yeah.
$7 a day keeps the doctor away.
And they give you free professional pictures.
Right. So I broke the math
have
down.
no idea how they make money.
I broke the math down. $7 a day, right? But you're going to pay for a good set of pictures approximately, I mean, we pay $150.
Yeah.
Because
call it $150.
Because we want good
let's
pictures.
say that you went cheapo, you're going to pay $100 for pictures.
Okay, you're paying at least $100 for a good set of pictures, right? How many days does it take before you start making money?
Yo, you got to be at least over a month before you start seeing any type of money. And that's if you gone with a cheapo package.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what's wild about it.
And what's crazy to me is that it takes 15 days just for them to recover their photo expenses.
Yeah.
Now, let's say they have a staff photographer and they're getting pictures for $50, okay? 2 hours, that's them driving out there, taking pictures, coming back, and doing like amazing editing in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And
Which
so 2 hours.
You know it's not going to happen.
And they have a staff photographer. So $50 is about the bottom line.
That's as cheap as you can get it.
Yeah. So even then, it's going to take 8 days just to recover the amount of money they've spent on pictures. And now they have to pay staff agents because they have agents that are W-2 on staff constantly answering questions. I just don't see how it can survive.
So how can you make something like that survive? Well, it has to be with the staff agents, and the staff agents that you have either have to be making a very low hourly wage or a very low salary.
Yeah, we calculated it.
Here's what's crazy about that. What kind of agent can you get to take a very low salary or
not
a very
good
low
one?
hourly?
Experienced.
Yeah,
exactly.
Inexperienced person or not a very good agent.
So that tells you what service you're getting.
Yeah, and here's what that service, and that's not even one of the ones we're talking about.
That's not even one of the ones we're talking about.
But that's one of the other ones who's changing the game.
It's one that baffled me though, because I actually had someone call me and ask me why their house wasn't selling. And I was like, isn't it obvious? Like this is,
oh, that's where we heard about it.
Yeah, that's how we found out about it.
Because I was like, well, who is this person that listed it?
Yeah, because they said that they'd been on market for like 60 days, so they'd paid 60 times 7.
They called me because they have a house down the street from one that we sold. We sold it in like 30 days. They've been on the market, and of course I did it, and I could, and what was blatantly obvious to me was that it wasn't getting any visits because of the pictures and how everything was set up. Yeah. And so I asked them, what other marketing have they done? They're like, well, none.
Oh, they syndicated it to a bunch of other websites, man. Are you kidding me?
This is the thing. Like, she was baffled. She was baffled by the fact that we spent money on driving traffic to the listing.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's exactly why real estate agents have the image they have in consumers' eyes.
Yeah.
Consumers don't understand that a good agent is going to be spending money to drive traffic for your property.
She goes, well, how much would you charge me? I said, well, we'd have to charge you a full 6%.
Yeah.
And well, how much of that are you going to spend just on marketing? And so I pulled up what we spent on that deal. We spent $2,000 on driving traffic to the house because it was oversaturated, because we knew it was going to be a tough sale. We've spent a bunch of money on just driving traffic there. Yeah. And she was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. This and that. I'm like, well, look, it's either that or you're just not going to sell it. You just keep paying $7 a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Eventually, you're going to have to come over here and pay.
She could have that thing listed for an entire year and only spend about $2,400.
That's wild.
That's not bad, but I just don't see how that, because even to make a little bit of money, they have to have about 40 active listings at any given moment.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of listings to manage, even with one person. You can't do it with one person.
To have
You're
40
need a
active
team
listings
to manage that.
and having, if you only have maybe a team of 3 to 5 people. Let's say you have some salary people, because you have to keep the cost down in order to be able to
you want to
cover-
keep it as low as possible.
Oh man, those people will be outworked in less than 6 months to a year. They're gonna hate life.
So that one I don't think is the answer.
Yeah, so we're not worried about that one.
I just don't think it's scalable. So
that one will fizzle away as fast as it got here, as fast as it'll disappear.
Yeah. So the next one though is one called Home Savvy, and that's SAVI. And what this one is, it's actually for people who are looking for a buyer's agent. So they're looking to be represented in the purchase of their real estate transaction. We got to kind of go through these quickly because we're running
out of time.
Yeah, we're running out of time. We're getting into the end of the show.
All right.
But Home Savvy says, okay, we'll put together the whole offer for you. It'll be professionally done. You'll have like this dashboard where you can manage your transaction and do all the negotiating and everything else. And for one, we'll only charge you $149. And if you do 3 of them, we'll charge you $349. And if you want to buy a 10 offer package, we'll do $795.
So you're basically buying a package of offers this company will submit on your behalf, right?
Yeah, and then what they do,
as a buyer.
Yeah, they'll credit the entire buyer's commission back to you. Now, I'll tell you why I don't think this is going to work, because you send out a lot of offers sometimes before you get anything.
Yeah.
And you're going to get buyers that are getting frustrated with spending $150 every single time they want to put out an offer, and then they don't get the house. And they're going to go tell their friends, like, this is getting really expensive, and their friends won't want to use the service.
This business model is almost based on the fact that this company knows a certain percentage of offers will be rejected. The company already knows this, and so people are going to have to come back and either purchase a bigger package or keep purchasing that 150 pop. So to me, that's kind of shady.
All right. Let's break it down to who the heck would pay for this.
Somebody who knows, I want that house.
Okay.
And I know exactly which one I want.
Got it.
And it's been on the market for a year, so I know that there's not a lot of competition on it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to come in under asking price. I'm going to come in right at what they're asking, and it's going to get accepted.
Yeah, so I pay $150, and then the buyer's commission gets kicked back to me.
That's a really specific client.
Yeah, we're talking about probably less than 1% of all transactions.
Almost too specific to actually think that there is a real business to run.
I don't think there is.
From there.
All right, so the next one is called ResList, and it's REZLIST. And they're a listing firm, and they charge you $4,000 flat fee. Now, there's already people doing flat fee listings for $300 and $500.
Yeah.
And those models
we see
work.
them as low as $99.
Yeah, I've seen $99 for flat fee listings. Those don't work. I don't see this working either. And then the last one here is called Realicity, ERALICITY.
I really wish we had more time to really go through these and pick them apart a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. But this one's another one. It's just a flat fee listing company, but they're charging you a flat fee of $9,900.
Whoa!
At the closing of the
So
property.
are they the competition for the other guys?
Yeah,
So the other guys are cutting these guys down?
Yeah, exactly. The other guys are undercutting these guys. It's just like, just come to Houston and you'll find people that are charging $99 instead of your $9,900, right?
I know, right?
So I don't see this. And what's crazy is these companies are getting investment from big like seeding funding companies. One of them got $250,000. The $4,000 flat fee listing got $250,000 in funding. Further brokerage, and they're not doing anything that no one else is already doing.
I know, right?
I need to just go just create shitty real estate startups, and you can get a lot of money.
That's exactly right. That's what's happening.
We're
right
out of
now.
time. Let me go through some events real quick. Next Thursday, Freedom Social hosted by the Maya team up north in Kingwood. July 18th, the Ted Jones Real Estate Forecast hosted by NAREP Greater Houston. The 19th, Jet Lending's Renter Warehouse Happy Hour. And then on the and then the 2nd of August, we got a special surprise for everyone coming up. We're going to have a voting campaign party for Alan Hernandez.
Yeah. It's going to be a vote-a-thon.
So,
yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Vote-a-thon?
Yeah, vote-a-thon. You got to say it like that, too.
So what we're going to do is we're going to be bringing all of our friends, all of their friends, anyone who's out there in the real estate industry. We want to invite you guys to come hang out. We're going to do it more than likely at
Lincoln Bar.
Lincoln Bar. We just got to secure the venue, make sure that's all right, and we'll put all the details.
But we're letting you guys know about it now, so you guys can go ahead and put it on your calendar. That's August
2nd. That's
August 2nd. So we're doing a voting party because we're gonna make sure that we get on the HAR board of directors.
Absolutely,
for 2018. All right, you guys, thank you for being on the show today. You are on the Realty Ruckus. Don't forget to keep up your ruckus and have a great day. We'll see you next time.
been the Realty Ruckus. Make sure and join us every Tuesday and Friday for new episodes. Find us on YouTube and Facebook for replays of previous episodes. And as always, keep elevating yourself and keep up your ruckus. Thanks for listening. Realty Ruckus has been brought to you by Smart Pig Media Productions.